I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
might have won this. He did by 2/100ths of a second over Brandon. That S4 guy off turn 4 for the final time sees the checkered flag. It waves. It belongs to the 315. Checkered flag. Contact, and Brian Rose wins it. A photo finish at the line. Oh, we got a wreck. Will Hewitt's through the trial for the final time, and oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short... Dover Motor Speedway is a monster of a racetrack. Exactly 1 mile in length, Dover has some of the most extreme banking, 24 degrees, on the NASCAR Cup Series circuit. Even the straights are banked at 9 degrees. We mentioned that Dover is one of only 2 Cup tracks that features concrete pavement the whole way around. Constructed between 1967 and 1969, Dover Motor Speedway was initially paved with asphalt. It wasn't until 1995's comprehensive revamp that the track was paved in concrete, giving Dover's racing surface its distinctive appearance. No matter the pavement, Dover has been long one of the most competitive tracks on the NASCAR schedule. From 1969 through 1980, 21 of the 22 Cup races at Dover Motor Speedway were won by drivers who had either already won a Cup championship or would later go on to win a Cup championship. The names of those winners are part of the fabric of the sport. Richard Petty, Bobby Allison, David Pearson, Cal Yarborough, Benny Parsons, Darrell Waltrip. Allison and Petty rank first on the all-time wins list here at Dover with 7 victories apiece. Most recently, Jimmy Johnson with 6, Jeff Gordon with 4, Mark Martin also with 4, and a host of other stock car legends have added their names to the list of Dover's winners. A list that also includes Scott Sharp, Greg Ray, who each won a race during Dover's cameo appearance on the Indy Racing League calendar in the late 1990s. Tonight, it's the Fahey Race Wraps 125 Noble Racing Series that's coming up next on HBR TV. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Virtual Dover Motor Speedway. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV, joined in the broadcast booth by retired racing driver Eric Dotson. How you doing, Eric?
I'm doing good, Steve. How about you?
Doing
I like
well.
the retired.
What's that?
I like the retired part there.
I had to throw it in, give a little jab. I hear there's rumor on the street that you might be coming back and sitting in behind the wheel here pretty soon, but time will tell. I don't know. If I were you, I'd miss it. I don't know how you stay out as long as you have, but either way.
It's just the time and dedication. I haven't had it. I mean, I talk about it almost every week. These guys put in a lot of time on practice each week to get down each track, and I really haven't had the time to do that lately, but we'll see what happens next season.
It's certainly something you've said so often. If you want to be one of the competitors that's competing for wins and top fives on a weekly basis, you've got to put the time in. And if you don't have it, it's very, very difficult to be that fast, especially here in the Noble Racing Series. We've got some pretty hot shoes out there. Let's take a look at our race info for tonight, though. 125 laps. Air temperature 78 degrees, somewhat humid, 84%. Track temperature 101. Drivers have 2 sets of tires over the wall to their discretion here tonight and a 70% max fuel load to manage. I think it's about a 48-lap fuel window at max. See how these guys manage it. If we go long green flag runs, it could present an issue, but we shall see.
Something you don't see often. Brian McCann about to wreck.
Well, if you do see it at all, it's typically in practice when you see it. The fast guys like the driver of that 3-truck, Brian McCann, they tend to find the limit or the edge during practice, and that's when they'll go over it. But that's really the only way to find that limit, is to kind of step over it once in a while, see where it is, try to put that back in the memory banks, and be sure not to do it during the race. With that said, though, Zach Millett currently fastest at 22.96. Tristan Sykes up there in second, 22.97. And in fact, the same lap time for Alfie Charon in third and Chris Goins in fourth. 83 of Brandon Mefford is fifth at 22.98, then a 22.99, then another 99. We have got some really tight times here at the front of the field in practice here with a minute and a half remaining. Real curious to see if this is the type of, well, I guess parity is the word we're looking for, we may run into here in qualifying. What do you think, Eric?
All these drivers have the capability, so it's no surprise that they're this close. And I think they all could run this close during the race, and that's where we're going to see who can save the tires the best.
Tires certainly going to be a point of contention as the 83 of Brandon Mefford goes P1 at 22.93. Very quick lap out of the 83 truck. Yes.
And that's what's just so exciting about this league. I mean, every week, there are no shoe-ins for a win. I mean, it's all these drivers have to come out and work for it.
Well, that's the other thing I like to see, too, is whether it's practice, qualifying, the race, it doesn't seem to matter. These guys are all that competitive that if, so-and-so has a faster lap, the next thing that they want to do is go out and find a couple more tenths or even a couple of hundredths in the case of Mefford and Millett here to try and knock that guy off the top of that leaderboard. Doesn't pay anything to win practice, but there's a little bit of pride there involved. Neil Quick and Zach Millett.
These guys are all fast. I mean, even going back to 21st place, it's not that big of a difference from the pole.
Yeah, fast time 22:93. We're talking about 7/10 of a second from the fastest to P20. So practice is over here. We're jumping right into qualifying. Sun is out here at the Speedway. Let's take a look at the weather before we get rolling. Track temp 98 degrees. A little bit cooler than practice. Zach Millett rolls onto the Speedway.
Zach just does a fantastic job no matter where we're at, and I'm sure he'll be somebody that'll be up front.
And I'm gonna pick Millett here for the race win here tonight. He's due. Hasn't been able to really have the success in Noble that he was hoping to see. A lot of competition out here, but Dover's a place that he really likes. Tends to run pretty well here. I'm gonna go with the 3:15 before he even makes a qualifying lap.
Ooh, bringing it out early.
Well, you said you're gonna pick whoever qualifies 7th, so I figured I'd get my pick out of the way now.
What if Millett qualifies 7th?
Well, you gotta pick again. Across the stripe, Zach Millett's first lap, 23:25. Keaton Burnett goes P1, 23:10. Cody in the stream chat. Hi, Steve. Hi, Cody. Alfie Charon goes P1, 22:97. First driver to go sub 23. Quick goes 22:96. Millett goes 22:99. Third fast so far. Quick, 22.969 seconds his first lap around in that number 2 WR1 Sim chassis machine. Good corner exit. Let's see if he picked up some time. No, 23:088. Still top of the board, though, for Neil Quick. Mark Thomas out of the UK. 23:061 the first lap. Little loose on a 2. Never lifted. Mark Thomas, second lap, 23:167. Some drivers not having as much success the second time around. Justin Johnson on track with the Mick Ultra 10X.
Looks like Sykes not quick off the pole.
Doesn't surprise me. Tristan was very fast in practice as well. Right up there in that top 3 for end of the practice session. 22:92 is the lap time. 23:207 for Justin Johnson, puts him 16th. Let's see if he's able to pick it up on lap 2. Some have not. Meanwhile, Brandon Mefford goes up a spot into 4th. 23:28 for Justin Johnson. Looks like he's going to land in the 16th spot. Mark Truxell rolling on the track. Before we get too deep into qualifying here, before we wrap it up, it is a 10-minute session, but let's take a look at the point standings coming into tonight. Of course, your point leader, Brian McCann, 4 wins on the season, 400 points to his credit. Brian Rose in the second position, 328 points. Zach Millett, 306. Neil Quick, 305. Tight battle there for the third spot. Brandon Mefford, 5th. Then Ballou, Plott, Paris, Goins, McCann, the top 10.
And the closer we get towards that cutoff, you're going to see these guys pay more attention to that. And know what they need to do to get into the chase.
100%. You'll see some strategies change. They'll take it off a kill and maybe go to stun. Just try to lock themselves in. 23-13 for Truxell, his first time by. Second lap for Truxell. 23-410 does not pick up. Chris Mefford on the track, sporting a new number, the number 46. David Bradford, formerly using the 46, has not returned to the No Bull Racing Series, but Mefford gets in the fence on the backstretch here. This is his first lap. He's going to lock it down, I think, and probably try again here. Going back to the number conversation, though, David opting to go do the real race thing with his son, so we certainly applaud that. Looking forward to having David back here at some point or another. But in the meantime, Mefford gets to drive the 46. That's his number prior to joining No Bull, but unfortunately for his sake, David Bradford is running it. Now that he's not, gets to use it again. So Chris Mefford still in the pits here. Not sure if he's going to take an opportunity to go. He's revving the motor here. I don't know if he's having a problem with his hardware. Dumps it in
It's
gear and he goes.
uncharacteristic. It's uncharacteristic for him to hit the wall, especially in practice. So I think he may have had an issue. You can see him kind of wiggling back and forth, maybe getting some heat in the tire, maybe just checking his wheel out.
He's back out there running the high side here. He's only going to have one lap to get it done here. We'll see what the 46 can do. That's okay, though. It seems like that first lap is the fastest. He takes the green flag here. Still plenty of time left in the session. Tristan Sykes, your fast time, 22:92.
I feel like the Medford brothers are always similar, so his brother qualified fifth, so we'll see what he can do.
Fifth quick, 22:987.
I called that right on the right on, didn't I?
Right now, we got to see what happens here with our top seven, because Zach Millett's going to start seventh here.
I may have to pick somebody else since you already called him. I've got somebody in mind.
Drew Prail, 23:036, lap 1, 8 quick, puts him into the top 10. Lap 2, 23:291 for Drew Prail, just shy of knocking Millen out of P7. So that looks to be wrapping it up here with 3 minutes left in the session. A few drivers, Matt Kopp, Eddie Rose, Doug Wysocki, Brian Torsha, not opting to take a time as of yet. So with that, we're going to jump out and get a break out of the way. We'll be back with our starting grid after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Dover Motor Speedway, the Fahey race wraps 125. Getting ready to go green here. Your starting grid on the pole with a lap time of 22.924 seconds. It's the number 99 of Tristan Sykes out of Lone Star Racing. Outside front row, the 28 of Chris Goins. Row number 2, it's the 2 of Neil Quick with Quick Esports. He starts in the 3rd spot. Alfie Charon, he'll roll from the 4th starting position. Chris Mefford from IROC, the number 46, will start 5th. Brother Brandon Mefford, also out of the IROC series, will start in the 6th position in the number 83. Zach Millen, the 315, will start from lucky number 7. Drew Prell in the 80 will start 8th. Matt Goodell, the 85 Pony Express Racing entry, will start from the 9th spot. And Mark Thomas, Prestige Worldwide Racing, number 50, is going to start 10th. Brian McCann, uncharacteristic 11th place qualifying effort. He'll start there. He will need to go to the back, I believe, at the stage break for his win penalty from last week. Brian Rose will start to his outside in the 12th position. Starting 13th, the 71 HLC Motorsports driver of Alan DeFries. Drew Blaze will start to his outside 14th. Will Hewitt's back in town. The number 33 Outcast Racing will start 15th. Jesse Redding, the number 21, will start 16th. 17th starter, the Lone Star Racing's Keaton Burnett with Mark Truxell. The number 5 will start 18th. Joe Tucker, Lone Star Racing. Nope, not anymore. We still got to fix that. He'll start in the 19th spot. Justin Johnson, yes, he's Lone Star Racing. The number 10 starts 20th. 21st goes to Eric Beadle with Beadle Motorsports. Noah Rainwater, straight from the bar, will start 22nd. Chris Elliott will start 23rd. Carson Conway, 24th. Mike Fahey, the number 16. He's got duct tape all over the door. He'll start 25th. 26 goes to Jamie Kerr, the HBR TV KRM Motorsport, number 75. Brian Torsha, the 81, will start 27th. Doug Wysocki, 34 machine, will start 28th. 29th, Matt Kopp. And last but not least, shotgun on the field. It is the Track Bar Media, number 88 of Eddie Rose. Your starting grid for the Fahey race wraps 125. Field working the backstretch here, getting ready to go under the green flag momentarily.
So you got Miller. I'm going to take somebody else who hasn't won this season, and they're due for one. They're always up front. And that's the number 2, Neil Quick.
Neil Quick is Eric's pick. I'm going to stick with Zach Millett. Pace car's off. We're going to go to the green flag here right away.
Green, green, green.
Green flag waves.
Got a little bit of a jump there.
Big time problems for the 99 of Tristan Sykes, the pole sitter, having connection issues right before we go to green. He has to go to the back. Does he even make it back in? Does not look like he's even on the track. Chris Goins will inherit the lead for that. Neil Quick, P2.
Chris Goins looking strong. I know it's early, but he's put a little bit of space in between him and Neil.
Oh, we're having other connection issues of our own here. This happened to us about a week ago. Granted, it was during a replay. Seems to be all right just all of a sudden. Hopefully it doesn't continue, but some packet loss issues for some drivers. Looks like just Tristan Sykes at the moment, not on track. Again, Chris Goins out to a healthy 3/4 second advantage over the 2 of Neil Quick. Battle for the 3rd spot. That's between Chris Mefford and Millett. Millett's up a few spots already since the drop of the green flag. Not forget about you guys in the stream chat. Thank you, Haley, for jumping in. Of course, you got here right in the commercial. Alfie Charon talking about our picks. Cody Anderson, of course, cheering on RTR, WJM, HXI. Strife filling us in on the Tristan Sykes issue. Tough break, man. Great qualifying effort for the 99. Unfortunately, doesn't even get to turn a lap after the race starts.
Yeah, I mean, that's so unfortunate. He had a great qualifying run and would probably been one of the top guys here tonight. But, that's, man, I hate that for him.
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't see Tristan run a whole lot. I know he runs some different style races, whether it's dirt and things like that, but the handful of races that I have seen him in, he's always quick, very competitive. Certainly would have been a threat here tonight. Tristan's in the stream chat. Computer had enough life for one qualifying lap. I hope it doesn't mean it totally died, but tough break, Tristan, man. I wish you could have been here for this. Good qualifying run anyway. Still watching the battle here for the third spot. Chris Mefford's got it. Millett wants it. It's the biggest thing that these guys have got to learn here. There's so many fast guys here in the Noble Racing Series, but at a track like Dover, you cannot push that hard that early. You got to take care of the tires. First 10 laps especially, it's really when you tend to abuse them the most, and that's going to kind of dictate how well they're going to cooperate with you the rest of the run. As I said, 48 laps, roughly the fuel window for these guys here tonight. With the tires that they've been allotted, tires over the wall versus what they start on the truck, if they go every 41 to 42 laps, they can change tires in that interval. Granted, it's easier said than done. You got to be able to plan for that.
Millett just not able to get around him. Looked like he may have to check up a little bit there.
Watch a little further forward here. Now the battle's for the second spot. Neil Quick and Chris Mefford. Mefford slides up. He's going to open the door for Millett here if he's not careful.
I've noticed the last few laps he ran a little bit higher line than everybody else.
Now Neil Quick's running P2 here. He certainly has plenty of pace. Most places that we go to, he's a threat for the win every time we show up. But he's also damn good at saving tires. A place like Dover, where that's so important, it almost seems like he's doing that right now already. Is he starting to back these guys up to him? He's got both the Meffords in behind as Millett loses a spot to Brandon. He slides back into the fifth spot. Chris Mefford, though, to the inside. Battle for the second spot here, 13 laps in. Neil's just going to let him go. Smart move. Good racecraft for the driver of the two. Almost contact between the 2 and the 83 there as they get into turns 3 and 4. Neil's going to let him go by in the bottom as well. Millett's going to try and follow him through.
Neil fighting back on that high side and maybe keep that position. But back to what you were saying, I feel like you're absolutely 100% correct. Neil is really good at saving tires. I feel like the Meffords are always fast, but they may not save tires as good as Neil Quick.
Top 5 as they run: Chris Gomes, Chris Mefford, Neil Quick, Brandon Mefford, Zach Millett. Deficit from first to second, just under half a second.
McCann already worked his way up to 6th position behind Miller.
Is anybody surprised?
The 3 truck has absolutely been on fire this season. There's no doubt about that. 4 wins in 8 tries.
No, tonight, if he wins tonight, that's 4 straight for the 3 of Brian McCann. Brian McCann closing in on Zach Millett.
We've seen him do it different ways too. We've seen him dominate the race, and then we've seen him to where, you know, it looked like somebody else was going to win, and right there at the end, he was there to win it.
Well, even remember back to Sonoma with the road course. I mean, he was trying just to work some strategy, and he even admitted himself he thought he was dead meat. Thought Millett was just going to eat him right up because Millett was coming on fresh tires. Again, at Sonoma, the road course, a place that's going to chew up tires in that hot California sun. wasn't the case. Millett caught him in a hurry, just could not make the pass, had to settle for P2, or McCann went on to the win.
Absolutely. I mean, Millett definitely had the faster truck, but he just couldn't get around McCann at the end. I mean, he had the pressure tires and were faster, but McCann done such a good job of keeping Millett behind him. I think everybody thought McCann had lost that one, and he pulled it off.
Mefford on Mefford battle here. Chris Mefford, the 46, top side. Brandon on the bottom. Battling for position. Millett trying to take advantage of this as well. He might follow the 83 through. Looks like that's going to be the case.
I know Zach hasn't had the finishes he's wanted, hasn't got the win that he's wanted this season, and especially after last season when he won so many races. You know, he's definitely hungry for his first win of the season.
Guys like Zach Millett, they are not used to going out, finishing top five, but not winning the race. Millett's got some competition, certainly, to deal with. He's also got to try and turn his luck around, because you can be fast all you want. You can have guys that are faster than you and kind of change your craft, but you got to have a little bit of luck to go your way as well. Hasn't really been the case for Zach Millett.
I feel like every season we've had a newcomer come on and absolutely dominate. I mean, Neil Quick, when he first came over, couldn't run for a championship, came in late. But remember just how he dominated then Zach Millett last season and now Brian McCann this season.
Yeah, that was definitely the case. That was back in the Superior Class Auto Racing League. And that was back in a time where they were running multiple series. It wasn't just trucks or cup or super late models and that kind of thing, but it seemed like every time Neil got into something, he was winning races. But again, it was late in the season, and he couldn't fight for a championship. We saw the same thing with, I think it was Brandon Mefford, if I remember correctly. I always get the two of them confused. I know they're not twins or nothing like that, but Mefford came in late in the season, couldn't contend for a championship either, and he was out there winning races as well, pretty much right off the bat against some pretty stiff competition. Battle shaping up with Brian Rose and Chris Mefford. Chris might have hurt his truck a little bit here as far as the tires go. He's been sliding back, or if he's just made the decision here, all right, we're 26 laps in, I got to take it easy. Got to make this go, because it seems that maybe the pace or the tone of this race is going green. Knock on wood. We haven't had a yellow as of yet. Again, the stage is going to be the completion of lap 45. As we said previously, the fuel window is 48 laps, so they should not need to pit if we stay green all the way through. Now that second stage, on the other hand, you will absolutely need to pit. So Brian Rose up into the 7th position. Up 5 spots, started P12.
I know from always talking to Brian, he is always big on these bonus points, so I expect to see him try to get all he can for these stage points.
Certainly will. Got to take care of that truck also for Brian Rose. Needs some good luck as well. 29 laps in here. We're going to jump out and get an HBR-TV side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. You won't miss a moment of the action. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
crowd.
Back at Dover Motor Speedway under our first caution of the day. Looks like Eddie Rose in trouble in pit lane. Again, no fast repair here in the No Bull Racing Series. Let's go back and take a look, see what happened with the 88 truck. Oh, across the nose of the 89. That's his son, Brian Rose. Eddie does a good job to get up topside and stay out of the way. Brings out the yellow.
Debbie Rose going to have her hands full between them two now.
Oh, boy.
I seen where Eddie got his first official win.
Not going to happen here tonight.
Congratulations.
Oh, Brian Rose taking some front end damage on that truck as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I mean, that's father and son and two HBR drivers. Probably should have had a little bit better communication there.
Let's try and watch it here on board Brian Rose. I want to watch it from the roof cam, see what he sees. Again, real time.
It looked like Eddie may have came up just a little, and then maybe Brian got into him from that view.
You heard Brian lift just a bit. He did get out of the throttle when it seemed like Eddie was slightly indecisive as the lane he was going to take. Brian had the run out of the corner, but just got to the right rear of the 88 truck, sent Eddie into the fence and then back to the inside wall. Truthfully, just dumb luck that nobody else got caught up in it. So we're lap 36, or about 10 shy of the stage. Lap 45, the completion of it, that is, will complete stage 1. Nobody has opted to hit pit lane in this caution cycle here, so I'm not sure if they're just going to wait it out. Again, tires at a premium here, 2 sets over the wall. Nobody wants to hit pit road and change tires prior to 40, let's just round it up to 42 laps. If you separate 3 sets of tires, counting the set on the truck, through 125 laps, it's like 41.6 laps. If you were to break it out evenly, again, that's almost impossible to plan for with the cautions and such. But you certainly do not want to come down sooner than that, because then you're at a deficit for the second stretch. You got to go a little bit longer on those tires, and at a place like Dover, you don't want to do that. It's going to really affect your lap time. Tires do fall off quite a bit.
I'm not so sure if we might not have another caution. I mean, these guys know the stage points. They know how they work. And, you know, we're going to have what here, about an 8-lap shootout?
Yeah, and considering all that, though, we did go 32 laps under the green flag, so there's some wear under these tires. We're shaping up for a restart here. These trucks tend to pick the rubber back out of the racetrack here at Dover. That's very common. The tires don't really rubber in the racetrack. They kind of powder it. I mean, if you've ever been to Dover Motor Speedway, that's kind of what happens. Is you'll see under slow speed, the trucks will pick up that rubber dust and it'll deposit itself onto the back tires. If you're not careful, you don't clean them off real good coming to the restart, you do run the risk of spinning the tires and really not going. If that happens to these top 2, we're going to be stacked up here in behind them. Hopefully that's not the case as we get ready to go back to the green flag.
Yeah, I think these 2 were our first 2 on the initial start of the race. It just lined up just like this, and Chris Gone's got a great jump.
Well, Neil Quick's going to have the advantage here as the race leader.
Green flag.
There it is, big jump.
Some Gones and McCann's will battle it out going into 1 and 2.
Brian McCann to the inside of Chris Gones. The 83 MF is going to try and squeak by as well. Not enough. Goins gets the run out of turn 2 into 3. Mefford drives it in deep, but nowhere to take it. Definitely some nose damage to the 89 truck of Brian Rose. He runs in the 5th spot here. Going to have an opportunity here to get it fixed during the stage break. Hopefully he can get that addressed and squared away in time to get back out on track. As I said earlier, Noah Rainwater straight from the bar. Started 22nd, already up to 19th, working his way through. Millett making a move on Brian Rose. Again, Brian's got some damage here. I don't think he's quite up to pace. Not drastically off pace, but doesn't have the same speed that he did.
Yeah, it looked like he tried to cross over there, just didn't have anything.
Alfie Charon and Will Hewitt battling for position out of turn number 2, side by side. Hewitt up top, the black and red number 33, 51 of Charon underneath. Drew Blaze coming into the picture as well as Keaton Burnett.
One thing I've noticed is that high side is not getting the run that they typically get.
It's kind of hit and miss. I've seen it work and I've seen it not. Chris Goins has been able to make it work as far as defending a position. I don't see anybody able to make a pass on the high side and doing it.
Chris Goins definitely not had the season he would like. 1 top 10, 1 top 5, so he's definitely working towards getting back on track here at Dover.
Real quick still with the race lead. Brian McCann runs P2. Coming to lap 45. This would be the final lap of the stage. One more time around for Neil Quick. Brian McCann again closing in. Neil and Brian very familiar with each other, both coming in from the IROC series.
Absolutely, they were the top dogs when I raced over there.
Haley taking off here. I gotta sleep. I'll catch the race tomorrow. Sweet dreams, everyone. Haley, thanks for chiming in. I know you're watching it super late. We appreciate all the time you do dedicate to it as the stage ends here at Dover.
Caution, caution, caution.
Neil Quick.
How you doing there, kid?
Brian McCann, Chris Goins, Zach Millett, P4, 83. Brandon Mefford, P5. Then it's Brian Rose, Alfie Charon, Drew Blaze, Will Hewitt, Keaton Burnett. Your top 10.
Brian Rose able to get a 6th place in that stage after that damage he had, so
Yeah,
I'm sure he's happy with that.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's also chomping at the bit here, knowing he's got damage to the nose of that truck, knowing that it happened with his father. It's got to be hot under the collar. There's certainly going to be some words in the team meeting tomorrow morning. Vincent Short in the stream chat. Vincent Short, a driver here at HBR. Used to run this series. New work obligations changing things up by a bit for Vince. Good to see he's here watching and tuning in. And look at this. Lap 47. Everybody down pit lane.
Gotta get the 4 freshies.
As Clint Boyer would say, 4 new feel-goods.
Yeah.
Busy place here at Dover. Pit lane. Narrow pit lane on top of that. Real quick. Into the box. Chris Goins as well. Alfie Charon in behind. Don't even need to look at this here. It's going to be 4 tires and fuel for all involved.
Chris Goins beating Neil Quick out pit road.
Goins did have that preferred position, but let's pull Neil Quick into the broadcast booth and get a word with our Stage 1 winner. Neil, it's Steve and Eric in the broadcast booth. Are you with us?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Got you loud and clear. Good to hear. Congratulations on that Stage 1 win, man. I know you've had a real brash of bad luck here lately on the sim. This is starting to turn the good direction here with a stage win. How is the rest of this race going to look for you? What's the game plan? What's the strategy? Tires, fuel, the works?
You know what, Steve? I'm just trying to keep the wheels on the pavement side this week. I mean, it's been like about 5 races in a row. I've been upside down, turned around, all over the place. So, man, just go out here, run good, consistent laps, and just kind of do what I did in that first 45 here and try to set a good pace and not use up what I got.
So 46 to 50 laps, kind of the fuel window. Do you expect this thing to go green the rest of the way, or are we kind of going to count on some cautions here before it's over?
You know, I can't never really predict it. I'm hoping that we go green. And look at what we had there in the first part. I'm hoping we get a little bit more of that, Steve. That's what my game plan is. I think for me to finish up here and to be in a podium area, I'm going to have green flag laps.
All right, Neil. Well, thanks for letting us check in with you, man. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
It's Neil Quick, your Stage 1 winner here from Dover. Quick word from the driver of the number 2 machine. You can hear him just in his voice. He's fired up and ready to go. He's excited. He's on the chip, man.
That's my pick.
Was it your pick? It was your pick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And look who's right next to him.
There's your pick.
Okay. So it's Millet's my pick. He's not next to him right now. He'll be next to Chris Goins here as we go back to the green flag. Millet though is going to be on the bottom. I think, kind of in a preferred position. Quick may be able to defend from that high side by building a run, especially on new tires. But this is going to be a bit of a battle to watch. Not really between Goins and Neil Quick, unless Neil can really time that restart perfectly with the 28. We've seen it happen already a couple of times, though, as that low lane, the leader who's in control of the restart truly does have a pretty significant advantage.
Yeah, Chris done very good on the initial start from that position and got the lead, and he pulled away and kept the lead for a long time, so we'll see if he can do it again on this restart. He may be a short run kind of guy.
Well, field formed up 2x2. Pace car lights are off, so next time by, well, green flag racing. About 12.5 laps shy of halfway. 2-stage racing here at Dover. First stage in the books. Getting ready to begin stage number 2 from Dover. Good crowd watching in the stream here tonight. Thank you guys all for chiming in. Don't be bashful. Chime into the stream chat. Say hello, who you're cheering for, where you're watching from. Pace car down pit lane. Into the Geico restart zone. Green flag waves. We're back underway from Dover.
Quick and Millet got a great restart right there, as Neil Quick's just going to drop back to 3rd position and fall in line.
I hope Millet didn't get a black flag out of that, because he passed to the inside. If he got to that stripe before Quick as he goes to the lead into turn number 3. Got a nose alongside. Now side by side off turn number 4. Zach Millet to the point. Lap 52, that S4 guy, your new leader.
Zach Millet looked like he shot out of a cannon so far.
Millet's very, very quick on the restarts. Took advantage of that outside lane being at a disadvantage. Timed it well with the 28 of Chris Goins. With that said, a lot of times guys will communicate, kind of count it down as the flag's getting ready to come out. They're going to time it with their teammate as to when to go. Millet and Goins, they're not teammates. They're not even in the same chat room right now. So Millet did that on his own, just kind of guessed and went at the right time. Clearly black flag not coming out for the 315, so he did not pass before the stripe. It's official. Meanwhile, Drew Blaze has quietly been working his way through the field. He's up into the 5th position behind Brandon Mefford. He's got Alfie Charon, Keith Burnett, Will Hewitt, Mark Thomas, and Brian Rose all the way back to the top 10.
looks like a lot of them side by side or single file, just kind of letting everything settle down as Brian Rose dropped back to the 16th position and already up to the 10th position, so he's not waiting around.
Taking a closer look at the 89 agentdotson.com F-150, Brian was able to get some repairs made to that truck. Looks pretty clean to me. Place like Dover Motor Speedway, he should be good to go to the end. If one more stop, maybe gets a couple more seconds of repairs, maybe it's perfect, who knows.
Mr. Consistency behind him. Mark Truxell didn't have the best qualifying time, but you can bet if Mark's not caught up in something, he's going to be knocking on the top 10 score.
Well, Truxell there certainly knocking on that top 10 door in the 11th position with the Little Tate's Cupcakes number 5. Truxell been around a long time here with us, whether it was Superior Class Auto Racing or here in the Noble Racing Series. He's kind of a lifer out here. Again, super consistent, super clean. No, he's not a lights out, the fastest guy at the track every week, but he doesn't have to be in many cases. He's got some wins here in this series, whether it was titled No Bowl or otherwise. Certainly one to not be ignored. Do not underestimate Mark Truxell.
Absolutely. Fought for a championship in the series last year, and he's working on Brian Rose right now for that 10th position.
Battle for 5th, Drew Blaze and Alfie Charon. Alfie was to the inside for just a brief moment.
You know, all these guys are running kind of the same pace, and Zach Millett's just running off and leaving them. So I'm just wondering about, you know, if Millett may be using too much of his tires up early.
You know, it's tough to say. I got to be honest, though. I've seen Millett do this more than on one occasion, especially when he was relatively new to the fold here at HBR. He'd go out and run some blistering laps, and in many cases he was able to knock off a win, but at tracks where tire conservation was super important, many times he would fall short, kind of pushed the truck too hard, too early in the run, and never really let off and gave the tires an opportunity to kind of recover throughout the run, and in many cases guys would start to reel him in. Now, the other school of thought, though, is the pace that he's willing or able to run. He's already a 2-second lead back to Neil Quick as those positions start to change with Quick and Gones. Also Mefford as well. But a lot of times he'd have that blistering pace. Guys would reel him in late in the run. Hopefully he's learned from that. He's gotten better at it. In fact, I know he has. I've seen it change. But sometimes when you got a big lead like that, you gotta save. Save. Get him to run as long as you can. That way, if you do get pressure late to the guy that's pushing too hard behind you, you've got a little bit left in the tank to battle back.
Yeah, the lap before, he was the fastest person on the track, and this lap, it looks like he is the second fastest. Brendan Mefford looks like he's the fastest last lap.
Talk about guys that are quick and good with tires, though. Brian McCann in that 3 truck. Again, 4 wins on the season. He's won the last 3 in a row. In fact, Nathan Peters in the stream chat says, Brian McCann, the smoking gun. We shall see. Brian back in the 16th spot. Anytime I see a guy like Brian McCann outside the top 10, I'm like, I gotta wonder, all right, what's his angle here? What is he doing? Because he's not there because something happened. He's there because he wants to be. You know, you see those spy movies and things like that. You know, somebody will say something along the lines of, if you're still alive, it's because he wants you to be. Well, it's the same situation with Brian McCann. If he's not in the top 10 or top 5, it's because that's his choice. He's there because he needs to be. Maybe he's taking care of tires, taking care of the truck. The guy's got an angle every time he hops in a race car or a race truck. He's fast, he's smart. You mix those two together, add a little bit of luck, and well, you win the last 3 races, and that's what he's done. trying to make it 4 in a row here at Dover. We'll see if he can pull it off.
Yeah, I think he got the EOL that time, though, so I think he's just working his way through now.
Yeah, he did have the EOL at the end of the stage. That was a win penalty that he had to serve.
Well, I mean, he's wasting no time coming through.
But that's the other side of the coin. You know, these guys are going to have to make a pit stop before this one's over, be it green flag or otherwise. But is he going to burn up his stuff trying to fight through this field here at Dover? I mean, it takes, you got to push the truck. Regardless of who you're passing, you're still going to burn up tires to do it. And the closer you get towards the front, as he runs in the 13th spot, the harder and harder those positions are to take away. Guys are a little bit faster each time you get closer to the lead.
If this stays green flag, it's just going to present so many opportunities and so many different strategies where, you know, do you stay out a little longer to have kind of fresher tires at the end? I mean, what would you do if it stays green flag?
I mean, I am honestly not great at saving tires. It's definitely a skill that I've gotten better at and understood a little bit more as the things have gone on. But I am of the type that I'll start paying, if I'm within the top 10 or top 15, I will pay attention to what my spotter says. If I hear leader on pit road, I'm probably going to make the opportunity there and hit pit lane within a lap or two of the leader doing that, because I know when he comes back out, especially the place just for instance here at Dover, he's going to be that much faster. You know, last lap for the leader, Zach Millett, was a 24:30. His fastest was a 23:31. So there's a lot of fall off there. If the leader comes out on fresh rubber and I haven't pit yet, well, it's time to do it, because he's going to cut a second a lap into me every lap that I stay out. So I'm going to try to mimic the leader. It may not always pay off, but you're not going to get lapped.
Yeah, talking about Millett's lap, Quick has been able to close about 3/10 the last few laps, so I don't know if maybe Millett's conserving or maybe he got the tires too hot.
Tough to say. Still a second and a half back to Quick. Should expect to see green flag stops here at the latest around lap 90 to 96 would be my guess. Lap 74, going to be 75 the next time by. We are going to take another HBR TV side-by-side break and get it out of the way. Stay with us, folks. You won't miss a minute of the action. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
back at Dover Motor Speedway. The Fahey Race Wraps 125. Zach Millett continues to lead for Neil Quick, but Neil Quick slowly but surely reeling in the 315.
Yeah, he's got it under a second now.
Now remember, that deficit was just over 2 seconds when Quick took over the second position. Lap 84 here. Going to see green flag stops, I would say, between now and lap 100 at the latest. I know we kind of said lap 96, but things may vary a bit.
Looks like Will Hewitt's hit the pit road.
Number 33, Rain Machine, down pit lane.
Might be trying to short pit and get the pressure tires on quicker.
Bit of an undercut, trying to get down there. As you said, Eric, get some fresh rubber on that truck, kind of pick up some track position by some faster lap times early on. Maybe drag everybody else down the pits. Brian McCann going to do the same.
I think Brian probably had to try some type of strategy in case it cautioned him with him getting the EOL.
Well, in his case, like we talked about before the break, you know, he has to do something because he had to fight pretty hard to work his way through that field with that EOL at the stage break. So it probably burned up his tires. He really doesn't have much of a choice. The good thing for him is he's got pace regardless of his tire situation. He can still salvage a decent finish here tonight. You know, if not a win, I mean, he could still challenge for it. A caution flag coming out would change a lot of that. But here's the dilemma. He just took his last set of tires.
Yeah, I mean, I just wonder how much, you know, 6, 8, 10 laps means here.
At Dover?
Absolutely.
Depends on who you're racing against. You know, if you got a Brian McCann versus another driver who's subpar, if Brian is the par, it doesn't mean a whole lot. Brian's going to be able to take care of that. But if it's a guy like Brian McCann versus Zach Millett, and Millett's got 8-lap pressure tires, at least here at Dover, it's going to show. At Sonoma, Brian McCann won the race.
There are not many people I don't think could have pulled that off, but he done a fantastic job.
No,
That's still one that, wow.
And to give him the pat on the back, I mean, Brian's a great road racer anyway, so you factor that into it. Again, so is Zach Millett. But it was an impressive run regardless. But nonetheless, I mean, road racing is its own challenge, and if you just position the truck in the right spot, you can defend without being overly aggressive. It's very difficult to make passes in a lot of places, and especially at a track like Sonoma.
He's flying right now, but these other guys are going to have fresher tires when it all cycles out, so we'll see how that ends up, as it looks like Neil Quick's on pit road now.
Driver in the number 2 truck from the second spot on pit lane.
And he was catching Millett, so maybe a little bit of strategy here to short pit Millett.
With that said, we're going to take a look here. Lap 74, Jesse Redding had a problem on track while we were in the break. Let's take a look, see what happened. It was between himself and looks like Jamie Kerr. 21 truck of Redding up top. Jamie Kerr at the bottom, the HBR TV colors. Oh, just breaks loose.
Yeah, I'm not. If that was netcode, that was a real bad case of it.
I want to back it up here just for a brief moment. We'll go to the spotlight cam. And honestly, we would have gotten a caution if Jesse didn't get stuck in the inside wall safer barrier there, because it would have shot him up the racetrack. Yeah, he just spun out. And I want to say that's unusual, but we do see it quite a bit sometimes here on turn 2 at Dover. But yeah, you see him get stuck in the wall. that's kind of a netcode related issue that he gets stuck like that. Obviously, that wouldn't happen in real life, but if he had bounced back up the racetrack, we absolutely would have had a caution.
And maybe more people involved.
Meanwhile, through that exchange, Zach Millett did take the opportunity to pit. Drew Blaze now your race leader. Keith Burnett's runs second. Alfie Charon runs P3. Chris Goins from the pits. In the pits from P3.
Chris Goins has a solid day today so far. Hopefully he can bring it home.
Chris Goins been running the Agent Datsun.com colors on his truck, as well as other racing machines, whether it's a Lamborghini and GT3. It's been kind of a curse as far as the luck end of things have been, but so far so good here tonight, having a strong run at Dover. Goins is down and away, 14.82 seconds on the stop. Anton Farr says, great race coverage as usual. Thanks for all that you do. Anton, I really appreciate the kind words, man. We try. We're not a big, giant outfit over here. We're not some of those broadcasting companies that are just massive with a whole bunch of employees. It's myself. It's Eric Dotson here in the booth. Zach Millen helps me out, and for the most part, a lot of those guys are volunteers. Really trying to put a good product out there for everybody involved, so we do appreciate the pat on the back there, Anton. Blaze down pit lane. Drew Blaze, even with an Eric Dotson agency decal on the side of his truck.
Yeah. These guys has got so creative with these paint schemes. I know the Fahey wraps are popular, and I mean, they just do a fantastic job. Everybody here bringing up good-looking trucks every week.
You know, Fahey Race Wraps is one. Justin Johnson usually runs a Fahey race truck, and they're the number 10X. I don't know if this is a Fahey race wrap or not. Drew Blaze typically doing his own paints, but occasionally will sport a Fahey race wrap as well. And come to think of it, I'm pretty sure that Zach Millen is running a Fahey race wrap truck as well. And, well, ironically, it is the Fahey Race Wraps 125 here at Dover Motor Speedway. "25 laps to go here from Dover. Final pit stops of the afternoon are complete. Everybody's good to go on fuel. Nobody's got any tires left. So even if we get a caution, we don't need to worry about pit stops. We just need to worry about the restart. Zach Millen has cycled back to P1. He's got 5.5 seconds on Neil Quick. We've talked about this in the past. Again, Neil Quick, for starters, did take the opportunity to hit pit lane prior to Millett coming down. Millett's about to put Chris Mefford a lap down. But Millett, where he excels, yes, he's fast on the racetrack. He's decent on strategy. But what he practices many times I've seen is entry and exits of pit lane, mostly the entry. And that is utilizing all the racetrack to the best of his ability to get onto pit lane with the least amount of time loss possible. He drives that entry to pit lane like it's a road course. Now, that's one thing to do if you got a road course set up in the race truck. But to do it when the truck is geared to go left all day long, it's a challenge. And somehow he has mastered it. And whether it's here in the Noble Racing Series or anywhere else I've called races where Millett's running, that is where he makes up a lot of time. And that's getting into pit lane under green flag stops.
Medford's not making it easy on him here. Medford's trying his best to stay on the lead lap, and
well, I can't say that I blame him. I mean, Chris Mefford's a fast driver.
I agree 100%. This is a good little battle here. As Quick's able to gain a little bit of time, but he's going to have to gain a whole lot of time.
Well, he's gained a full second here in the last couple of laps, but keep in mind this. Mefford and Quick, those are both IROC boys. I wouldn't necessarily say that they're teammates per se. I mean, they come from the same league over here to No Bull in a Race. But maybe Mefford's fast enough to hold Millet up just enough. Maybe we turn this thing into a race here with 20 to go. Back to 315 up to Neil Quick. Of course, it's going to cause Millet to burn up his stuff a little bit more, trying to get around the 46.
A lot of these guys aren't teammates, but they just have that mutual respect to where, you know, they do help each other.
Well, I would like to say that most of us here in this league have a bit of mutual respect for one another. I mean, a lot of these guys we've been racing with, whether it's in this league or that league, for a long time. Last couple of years at minimum, if not more in many cases. We've raced with these IROC boys quite a bit. With the Right Turn Racing guys, some of the LSR guys that are in here as well, Prestige Worldwide. I mean, all of these drivers have, well, frankly, been a part of an HBR TV broadcast outside of Mill Bull Racing at one point or another. And they kind of all come together here in the middle. It's really a good mingling of race drivers here in iRacing.
I think you're right. I think Medford's just fast enough to where Millet just can't get around him.
Millet's lost another second on the advantage to Neil Quick. He gets to the inside of Medford here out of turn 4. Still not enough to clear.
Woohoo!
16 laps to go. We got Judy Tate in the stream chat. Haven't heard from Judy in a while. Thanks for checking in, Judy. Cheering on Mark Truxell. Hang in there, Mark. Hoping for a win.
Mark's in 10th right now. Always a top 10 driver.
Remember, Truxell started in the 18th spot. So he's running in 10th here, having a solid night here at Dover. I think Millet's being smart here. He's going to let Mefford start to catch some other lap traffic and try to make a move then. He's got a couple of truck lengths between himself and the 46.
Yeah, when he was trying to pass him, Quick was gaining on him, and now they're staying relatively the same.
Now with that said, Millet pit at lap 92, Chris Mefford lap 98. So Mefford actually does have a little bit fresher tires. So Eric, here's your example of, is 6 to 8 laps really that much of a difference in tires? Well, you've got two pretty fast guys here with about 6 laps of tire difference between the two of them, and Mefford's able to stay out in front.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Millet was trying his best to get around.
Oh, caution on the speedway. Not sure who's got this
Kind of
yellow.
talk me through what's going on again.
Man, I don't see any issue here. Trying to find it. Jesse Redding's already on pit lane. Mike Fahey. Well, there's no damage on that truck. Brandon Mefford on the pit lane already.
Looks like the passenger side could be damaged up. Look like the tire's sticking out.
So the 83 possibly the cause of our caution.
One quick thing about Medford that you all don't know, or some of you don't know, is that the Zoe's Place, great organization that him and his brother works with. Check it out.
100%. So let's take a look at it. Brandon Mefford, possibly the cause of our caution.
Ooh.
No, the 81, Brian Torsha.
I bet he gets him right here.
There it is. So some damage there to the 81 of Brian Torcha. The Drew Blaze coming in there. That's what probably triggered the caution. The slow-moving 81 and the field bearing down. So big-time helper here for Neil Quick. He's going to get an advantage here by just being closed into the 315. Now Quick pit at lap 91, Millet lap 92. So Millet with slightly fresher tires, at least as far as the numbers are concerned. But how bad did he hurt his stuff trying to get by Mefford? That's the question.
We could also say how bad Neil hurt his tried to run Millet down too, though. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's some truth behind that as well, but 1 lap difference between the two. We saw how hard Millet was pushing. We didn't quite watch didn't quite watch Neil Quick because he really wasn't in a position to fight anybody. He's just out there trying to run clean, smooth laps. Yes, they're going to be fast. He's going to burn his stuff up a little bit, but Millet's got to push extra hard. He's got to run slightly offline, trying to make moves where he wouldn't normally put the race truck, and that's where you're going to wear your stuff out. Plus, he's got the dirty air of the car in front of him. That's going to cause the nose to slide a bit. So let's see if this truck isn't too tight here on the restart here, coming with maybe 8 laps to go.
It seemed like that Neil was better on the long run too. The last time we had a big long run, so that could play a factor. But I tell you what, you got the black 3 going to be starting on the inside right behind Millet, and nobody's hotter than that guy right now.
You talk about Neil Quick saving his stuff. A little bit quicker on the long run. Of course, it's Neil Quick. Knows how to save his stuff. We'll see if Millet can hold him off here. It's going to be a shootout. My concern, though, with cautions breeding cautions, and again, we've got some tire wear to deal with here. Driver's pit lap 91, 92, 85. Brian McCann was lap 85, so he's going to be at a detriment here as far as tire strategy is concerned, but he's been shown to be able to overcome that throughout this season.
I think Neil's he's got to time his restart. I mean, if he don't get a good restart and Brian's able to get under him, then, you know, that could very well do his race in. Well, his chances of winning anyways.
Well, there you see it. Pace lights go out, yellow lights go out at the starter stand. One more time around, we'll go back to the green flag here at Dover.
Brian Rose worked his way back to the top 5 right now after a little bit of incident with his dad and getting his damage taken care of.
That's something I will say about Brian Rose. He's certainly overcome that with experience here in iRacing, is that was something that if that were to happen a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, it would have done his night in. It would have gotten him so angry, it would have messed up his concentration level, and he wouldn't have been able to bounce back from it. But he's put the focus forward. He's continued to fight, got the truck fixed, and he's sitting there in the top 5 here from a 12th starting position. So looking for a good finish here for Brian Rose. Top 13 on the lead lap, Drew Prale. Last truck on the lead lap, Noah Rainwater, the first truck 1 lap down, will be the recipient of the lucky dog if the caution were to come back out. Pace car is down into the Geico restart zone. Green flag waves back in Dover. Big jump for Zach Millet.
Looked like Neil Quick got a good jump. He may be able to get down in front of the 3 truck, and he does. So good job for Neil Quick. That's what he had to do, Steve. That right there.
Seven laps to go. Zach Millet in front of Neil Quick by just a quarter of a second. Then it's Brian McCann, Chris Goins, Drew Blaze, the top 5. Rose has slipped back to P6. Then it's Will Hewitt, Keaton Burnett, Alfie Sharon, and the 46 of Chris Mefford.
It's like Goins going to work on Brian McCann for the 3rd position.
Yeah, McCann pit a little bit earlier in the sequence here. He's going to be at a disadvantage, and it's starting to show here. Chris Goins to the inside. Drew Blaze follows him through, takes the spot. McCann drops back to the 5th position. Brian Rose still hangs in 6th. If he continues this fight, he might be able to challenge McCann for the spot. He's got 7-lap newer tires as well. Still out front, Zach Millet to Neil Quick. It's 3/4 tenths of a second, depending on how you want to round it. Battle for the 2nd spot, Neil Quick and Chris Goins. Goins putting the pressure on the 2. Drew Blaze putting the pressure on the 28. Might just follow him through once again. Neil Quick up the racetrack. Chris Goins Going to make the move here out of turn 2. Has to check up just a bit. Blaze closes in. Quick goes back from 2nd to 4th. Tries to cross over on Drew Blaze, but nothing doing there. Chris Goins to the 2nd spot. Drew Blaze to 3rd. Millett still out in front, 0.6 of a second. The advantage with 3 laps to go.
Chris Goins been up front almost the whole race. Here he is again. We'll see if he's got any time to run down the 3:15 of Millett or if he gets caught battling Drew Blaze.
Chris Goins has been lights out. He's switched over to virtual reality headsets here for iRacing as of late, and since that has happened, he's just gotten faster and faster, able to see the racetrack better as Drew Blaze closes in on the back bumper. The caution is on the Speedway. Carson Conway in trouble.
Wow.
Oh boy, Zach Millett's going to have to survive another one, and again, don't forget, nobody's got any tires left. Carson can't get the truck turned around as he piles it into the inside wall after the yellow comes out. Drew Prale looks like he was involved in this as well. Some damage on that machine. Let's take a look, see what happened. Conway in the top lane there, the number 72, Country Designs machine. Chris Elliott to the bottom. 80 slides in. Drew Prale gets a piece of the left rear of Carson Conway, sends both trucks into the outside retaining wall. Looks like might have been Brian Torsha, got a piece of that as well once again. Puts us under our 4th caution of the afternoon, and it comes out with 3 laps to go. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Chris was making a push. I don't know if he could have done it if it stayed green. I think he would have got to the bumper, but not sure if he could have done it. Now he's got an opportunity.
Well, see, that's the problem, though. I think the opportunity might be out the window, and the opportunity might have landed in the lap of Drew Blaze, as the restart's going to come here pretty soon, and the outside lane has not performed well on these restarts. We're going to take a quick side-by-side break. I know we're under caution, but just in case, we'll be back after this. Stay with us.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Dover Motor Speedway, 3 laps to go. I think we are officially in our first overtime here. Working our 4th caution of the afternoon. Been a clean race. Pace car lights are off. Gonna go back to the green flag the next time by, trying to settle it here from Dover. Again, no tires left in the pits for anyone at this point, so these drivers are going to have to make this restart on old rubber.
Chris Goins has got to get a restart like Neil Quick did last time and be able to slide down in front of the number 1 of Drew Blaze. That's the only chance he's got at this.
That's the other thing too, is the outside lane has not been the place to be for the restarts. Neil Quick, even though he's in row 2 here, still mired back in the outside. Inside lane, of course, Zach Millett, Drew Blaze, Brian McCann, all some fast drivers here. We'll see if they can get it done or if Millett can hold them off. Pace car is into the Geico restart zone.
Green flag.
Green flag waves. We're back underway. Great restart for Zach Millett. The battle's going to be Goins and Blaze for the 2nd spot for now. Mefford goes to the bottom. Quick goes topside. Blaze into P2, side by side for the 3rd spot. It's Goins and Mefford. Mefford's going to have a nose out in front off of turn number 2.
Goins did not get the restart he wanted, and that could have costed him big time here as he drops back to 4th as Zach Millett comes to get the white flag with Blaze right behind him.
White flag in the air. One more lap for Zach Millett, and he can finally cash in on a win here in the Noble Racing Series. But Drew Blaze all over the back bumper, challenging for position. Blaze has newer tires, 6 laps newer to be specific. Into 3 and 4 for the final time. He makes some contact with Zach Millett. Millett drops it back to the bottom. Off of turn number 4 for the final time. Zach Millett's going to win the Fahey Race Wraps 125. A hard-charging Drew Blaze almost made it pay. Finishes P2. Chris Mefford was 3rd. Chris Goins 4th. And Neil Quick with a top 5. Wow.
Drew Blaze tried the bumper run, but Millett was able to keep it under control.
I got to give it to Drew Blaze, too. Able to get into Millett the way that he did, kind of just upset the balance of the truck without wrecking him. Millett doing a great job of saving it. It was certainly a significant hit there. You see the left rear of Millett's truck's got a little bit of damage. But, man, these guys have gone at it time and time again, and wow, what a finish.
Yeah, that was great. I think he was expecting maybe Millett to go move up the track or something from that bump. Millett kept it right under control.
Honestly, I think Millett just checked up to slow the truck down, keep it on the bottom, forced Drew to wreck him. I think Drew's smarter than that. Did not get into him any further.
Zach Millett, first win in the Noble Series.
Great win for the 315 here. We're going to jump out and get our final break out of the way. Very subdued celebration here on the front stretch for Millett. Probably trying to catch his breath. We'll be back after this, guys. Stay with us.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
won this, he did, by 2/100ths of a second over Brandon. That S4 guy off turn 4 for the final time sees the checkered flag. It waves. It belongs to the 315. Back at Dover Motor Speedway, Zach Millett, your race winner here for the Fahey Race Wraps 125. Thrilling fashion here, late race restart, overtime runs. Unbelievable. Millett able to hold off a hard-charging Drew Blaze with fresh rubber underneath him. Let's pull the driver of the 315, that S4 guy, into the broadcast booth. Zach, it's Steve and Eric in the booth. You got us?
Hey, what's up, guys? Got a copy.
Congratulations on a race win here in the No Bull Racing Series. Let's just give you a bit of a backstory here. I don't know if you even heard it prior to the race. Eric Dotson said, I'm going to pick whoever starts P7 here tonight. Well, as soon as qualifying started, you just started your first green flag lap. I said, well, if you're picking P7 for qualifying, I'm just going to pick Zach Millett. Well, Zach Millett started P7, went on to win the race. So Eric had to pick Neil Quick, and, well, I win again.
There's got to be something to do with these picks, Steve. Every time you pick somebody, they seem to win.
Well, let's talk about it here. Congratulations, first and foremost. A great win here at Dover. I know this is a track that you really do like and perform well at. We did talk about tire strategy and savings early on in the race. And admittedly, tire strategy and tire savings, not your forte, at least initially. It's something you have improved on and worked on, I have seen. But walk us through the strategies throughout the race and being able to hold off Drew Blaze at the end, who had 6-lap newer tires than you did.
Oh, yeah, Drew was definitely faster. Chris was, too, on that last run. I did everything I could to hold those guys off. I got to thank Drew for not just wrecking me coming into 4 there. That's awesome racing. It was good on him just for, the bump there. But, yeah, man, that first run, I thought I was saving tires, but I was so close to the trucks ahead of me that I just couldn't get any grip anywhere. So I'd have to turn the wheel more to make the corner, and didn't have any air on my nose to make those corners. So towards the end of that first run, man, it was just hanging on. I could barely run with Brian Rose, who had damage. So, yeah, once we got that pit stop in, though, I knew it wasn't going to be quite as long of a run. So, yeah, we just kind of sent it, hope for the best, and I was holding my breath, and the caution came out, and then it came out again, and then again. It was, I don't know, I might have lost a year of my life because of that.
Certainly earns your keep with those restarts there at the end, of course, with the green-white checker at the finish, holding off Drew Blaze. It's back to you two again. We saw this at the end of last season in the Spirit Class Auto Racing League, and here we are, No Bull Racing now today at Dover with yourself and Drew Blaze going at it once again. This rivalry is going to continue, I think. It's a healthy one at that. It's good for the league. I think it's good for both of you guys as well. It's been fun to watch.
Oh, it's great, man. It's a bunch of these guys, like I was racing Brandon Medford earlier in the end of that last run, and we were both just hanging on for dear life, but we were still keeping, distance between us and racing clean. So that's what this league's all about, it seems like. It's just real close racing, lots of fast guys. It's really as good as it gets.
So as we talked about tire strategy and tire savings, we go in next week to Darlington Raceway. Certainly the lady in black been known to chew up a handful of tires in her day. What are your thoughts rolling into Darlington out of that egg-shaped speedway in South Carolina?
Man, I don't know. We'll see. I don't remember the last truck race I did there. I did some next-gen stuff and even some Xfinity fun over there. But we'll get the practice in. The HBR guys, we're always good about getting that practice in. Big thanks to the HBR guys. We're always throwing up sessions and getting those laps in. That's what it's all about. But maybe we'll just get into the race at Darlington and sacrifice some paint on lap 1 just to, maybe be on our good side for the rest of the race.
Get the Darlington stripe out of the way early. You don't have to worry about it the rest of the night. Zach, congratulations on the victory here at Dover, man. Who do you want to shout out to?
I'd like to thank you, Steve, and Eric, and HBR TV for the broadcast, as always. The guys over at Right Turn Racing, all the No Bull guys that keep this league in order. I know it's a lot of work, and I know we all definitely appreciate it. I got to thank Track Bar Media, Eric Dotson, State Farm, Castle Products, Fahey Race Wraps. Big thanks to him for getting me this paint. This paint is awesome. I love racing it every week. He does a heck of a good job. And shoot me a follow over on Twitch at that S4 guy.
All right, Zach. Well, thanks for talking to us again. Congratulations and good luck next week at Darlington.
Thanks, guys.
Zach Millett, your race winner here at Dover, Delaware. Next, we're going to pull Drew Blaze from Lone Star Racing into the broadcast booth. Get a word with our runner-up finisher. Drew, it's Steve and Eric in the HBR TV booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Drew, congratulations, man, on the second place finish. You had the stronger tires there at the end, 6 laps fresher than leader Zach Millett. I think one more lap, we'd be talking to you first instead of the 315. But, man, walk us through that green-white checkered finish and the strategies that you worked to try and get some fresh tires there late in the run.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of dug myself into a hole there, and I was like, well, I'm going to lose a bunch of spots because I'm just going to stay out here as long as I can. But, you know, we got that late race caution, and, you know, I had them pressure tires, and it was just kind of picking people off there. And, you know, I was pushing Chris there for a little bit, trying to just get the Millet and see what we could do with him. But then we had that green-white checkered, and I didn't really get the launch that I wanted. And Millet kind of got away, and I think that kind of just put the nail in the coffin. I think if I could have kept him a little closer, would have been a different story. But, you know, good racing. I'm usually not that great here, so I'm just glad to, you know, be competitive.
Well, it's certainly exciting to watch for sure. Again, Millett really does pretty decent here, regardless of what kind of car he's in. To finish second to him, certainly almost a win, but again, the checkered flag was more desired, I'm sure. One short, second place here in the Noble Racing Series, though certainly nothing to be ashamed of by any means. Next week, we get another crack at it, though, out at Darlington Raceway. Millett doesn't have a whole lot of experience out at Darlington in the truck. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I have a lot of experience at Darlington in a next gen, but I don't know how well that's going to translate over to the truck. But I kind of know, you know, how to run the track and what line to run, and you know, strategy. So we'll just take that information, know what it is, and we'll implement it and see what we can do.
Well, it's all that you can do tonight. Again, congratulations. A good finish. You started 14th, brought it all the way up into the second position. So a job well done here at Dover. Who do you want to shout out to, Drew, before we let you go?
Oh, yeah, got to thank Lone Star Racing, all my guys over there. Love them to death. I got to thank Mike Fahey Race Wraps for the wrap here. Hit him up. Does some of the best wraps for NASCAR stuff. And I got to thank Arthur Law Firm. Thank you for putting on the broadcast. And thank everybody out there for watching.
All right, Drew. Well, again, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week at the Lady in Black.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's Drew Blaze, your runner-up here at Dover. Next, we're going to go to Chris Mefford. Get a word with our third place finisher, bringing home that number 46 machine. New number on the truck this week, and a third place finish. Chris Mefford. It's Steve and Eric in the booth. You got us?
I got you.
Chris, congratulations, man. A solid finish. You started 5th, finished P3, so that's a win in anybody's book. I'm sure you would have been happy with a better finishing position, but top 3, nothing too shabby. Walk us through your race, tire strategy, fuel strategy. What was the plan coming into tonight?
Tire strategy, I don't know what I done that first run. I tried something a little different, a little less force feedback, and I think it actually hurt me. So after that first pit stops, I raised it back up to 8. I had it down to like 3. So I could feel the truck a lot more. But I burnt my right front up real bad that first and second run. But the second run, no, we ran the fuel all the way out. So no, I hit the wall a little bit. I had a little damage, nothing really too serious. So I fell back to the back and just kind of rode it out. And ended up P3.
So you talk about force feedback settings, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it might have been you in qualifying. We saw go out and make a lap, have an issue, get into the wall, and then go right back to the pits. We watched you sit in pit lane for a little bit, revving the engine. Were you just messing with some settings at that point, or was that even you? Was your brother?
It was probably me. Yeah, so I got this new V 2.5 wheel. I bought it off real quick. So still getting used to it. I had it come from the CSL Elite 1.1, so a little bit of a difference. Still trying to get used to it. You know, work out all the bugs. So yeah, the first lap I just had too much rear brake in it. You know, on this fast lap, at least for me, I wanted more front brake. So I went out there and set P5. Obviously wasn't pole, but you know, it enabled me to start up front and kind of ride around for a little bit, and then fall back, and rest is history.
Well, certainly a strong run here tonight at Dover. Next week we go to Darlington Raceway. What are your thoughts going into the Lady in Black?
I got plenty of black on my truck to share with it.
Oh boy. So Darlington stripe early and often for the 46?
I'm gonna try not to, but Darlington's another one of those tracks that kind of like Dover. You have guys that can be real fast for a matter of laps, and you got guys that are fast at the end of the runs. It's really just trying to balance that out, trying not to get wrecked. And you've done this long enough too. It's hard to manage tires and not get ran over. So you're basically driving out your rear view mirror as well as your windshield. So it's definitely gonna be difficult. I know there's a lot of fast guys here. Hopefully my luck's turned around. I know Chris Goins, his luck has turned around this past couple of weeks. I know he's running good last week at Pocono and had a mishaps, but he's fast, and you see all the fast guys rise to the top. Hopefully I can join them guys.
Well, Chris, we're certainly looking forward to it. Again, congratulations for the third place finish here tonight at Dover. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Yep, shout out to you, Eric, and Steve for the broadcast. Brian and Chris and all the admins for putting up to all of us. Shout out to Mr. Fahey for sponsoring the broadcast. Congrats to Zach and Drew on the 1-2. Once I came out of the pit road, I was trying to run in front of Zach because I had about 10 lap fresher tires than him, so I was trying to really ride there. And I was glad I didn't mess his race up. I just wanted to save tires in case we did have that caution, and we did. So, congrats to him. Chris Goins, hell of a run. That was fun there. I passed him one corner. He dove back underneath me. We rode side by side the rest of that lap. So that was a blast. Shout out to all my Charity Motorsports teammates, everybody from IROC. Hopefully we can be better next week, and hopefully I can talk to you a couple of places better.
All right, Chris. Well, we certainly wish you the best next week at Darlington. Thanks for talking to us, man. Have a good night.
Thanks to you too.
It's Chris Mefford, your third place finisher here at Dover Motor Speedway. It really was an incredible finish, Eric. I mean, this place does chew up tires. We've talked about that so much tonight specifically. Obviously, fuel was something you had to consider as well, but it really just came down to tire strategy. And it almost paid off for guys like Drew Blaze here. Again, only 6-lap difference. And you and I talked about it. You kind of called it early on. He was curious to see what the difference was really going to be with, a difference of 8 laps of tire wear from one truck to another. We got 6, but it was a big difference. Even with 6 laps, you got fast guys. Drew Blaze was able to close in and almost take that win away from Zach Millett.
Yeah, absolutely. The tires played a key. Even kind of a disadvantage for Brian McCann being up there. He's always a fast driver, and he had a little bit more worn tires, and it went the other way for him. But Drew Blaze played it where he was going to have fresher tires, and a couple more laps, and we may have talked to somebody else on the first place podium.
I think 1 lap was all it was going to take for Drew Blaze to take advantage of the better tire. And again, it's not to say that Zach is better or Drew is better, but man, when you put 2 guys of equal skill levels together and you give one of them 6-lap newer tires at a place like Dover, you're not going to be able to hold them off long. I'm just impressed that Zach was able to do it through turns 3 and 4 and take home top honors here at Dover. Speaking of honors, let's take a look at our race results. Of course, we talked to Zach Millett, Drew Blaze, and Chris Mefford. 4th place, another strong run for Chris Goins. Neil Quick was 5th. Brian McCann, with the EOL penalty to start the stage, still battled back to 6th place. Brian Rose, after some contact with Eddie Rose early on, still able to get the truck fixed and back into a 7th place finish. A strong run for the 33 of Will Hewitt. Alfie Charon was 9th. Mark Thomas into the top 10. Keaton Burnett finished 11th. Mark Truxell, another solid finish, 12th. Noah Rainwater from the bar finishing 13th. Drew Prale was 14th. Mike Fahey finished in the 15th position. Of course, Mike, the sponsor of tonight's race with Fahey Race Wraps. Matt Goodell, P16. Justin Johnson was 17th. Jamie Kerr coming back in with HBR TV, finishing 18th. Doug Wysocki was 19th. Eric Beadle, 20th. Joe Tucker, 21st. Matt Kopp was 22nd. Chris Elliott, 23rd. Carson Conway, 24th. Alan DeFries, 25th. Brian Torsha, 26th. Brandon Mefford was 27th. Jesse Redding, 28th. Eddie Rose, 29th. And your pole sitter, Tristan Sykes, finishing dead last after computer-related connection issues, packet loss, however you want to explain it, never even got to take the green flag. Makes you wonder what might have been for the 99 tonight. Had a fast truck, fast time in qualifying, unable to make the race here tonight. That just makes you scratch your head, man. That's a tough break for Tristan Sykes.
Absolutely, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, the last 2 out of 3 races that the pole sitter hasn't even led a lap.
Now you got the Larry McNuggets here. That's what it sounds like you got going on.
Well, I was just thinking about Sonoma, where I think it was Sonoma, wasn't it? Where Kevin McCann was on the pole and never led a lap.
Yeah, that's true. And he had a struggle, but he worked his way back up through. Had some issues there late at Sonoma, but yeah, you're right. He didn't lead a lap either. Well, that's gonna wrap it up.
I just thought I'd throw it out there.
Yeah, well, it's a good little tidbit, and again, we call him, Larry McReynolds typically has Larry McNuggets, but we got to come up with a catchphrase for your little nuggets of information. But either way. So Chris Elliott in the stream chat says he set the pole and then parked it over the Dover Down slots. I've taken part over the Dover Down slots, and I would rather run the race, just to be honest. But that's going to wrap it up for us here at Dover, Delaware for the No Bull Racing Series Fahey Race Wraps 125. Thank you guys all for watching. If you haven't already checked out the new website, it's hbrtv1.com. It's very limited. There's not a whole lot there other than, our logo and a couple of quick links for our social media pages, Facebook and YouTube. Please check them both out. Like, follow, share, and subscribe. Turn the notifications on. That certainly does help. Not only us, but every league that we do broadcast. It gets more eyeballs on those leagues, which gets more eyeballs, of course, on the channel here at HBR TV, and that's always a good thing. Lastly, thank you, Eric, once again, as always, for jumping up into the broadcast booth and helping us call this race here from Dover. It is always a great treat. Cheer us on next week. Darlington Raceway here at HBR TV. The No Bull Racing Series is back. I think it's our final race of the regular season, I believe, before we take a week off for Easter and then get into the playoffs. So tune in for it. Eric, again, thanks again. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV, thanking Eric Dotson, congratulating Zach Millett on the race win here in the Fahey Race Wraps 125. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.